because this is really a project.
This meeting is being recorded.
This is really a project that I've followed, even though I haven't been there. I've known from Babatunde what you've been doing, and it's one of my, I share, this is really a favorite program because this is one of those things that can really make a real change in society. So I am in Copenhagen. I'm in transit. I landed 2 hours ago from New York, where I've been in the Population and Development Commission. And I thought last time I had to send a representative, this time on this occasion, I wanted to be here myself. So I would like to just start actually by just congratulating 36 young, amazing women who we are celebrating today, because today they have actually started their walk on a path where you can change the situation in Nigeria at large, and probably also over time in the world, because no one acts in isolation anymore. It's a path that leads to gender equality. And I do hope, again, to echo the first speaker, that you will use your voice, that you will take this opportunity and take the empowerment that you have within you to use your voice to change not only your own life, but also the life of all the other girls and young women you meet on your way. If you use your voice, and if we learn to use our voice jointly much better, we really can change the way things work. I also want to just commend Stand With a Girl swag for this initiative, and also, of course, Strong Enough Girls Empowerment Initiative for implementing this project, because it is about having people who think out of the box, who owns their own development, who has their own ideas. And this is very much about putting young people in the leadership seat. We talk a lot about it, but very often we will then say, okay, then we will do a project, and then people my age will end up implementing it. And it doesn't work. It has to be led by young people. And this is really a youth-led, innovative initiative. Attaining gender equality is so critical, not only because it's a fundamental human right, but actually also because it's a necessary foundation for a peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world. And I think we can all agree that the world needs that. Gender equality in Nigeria was reported to be 0.33% in 2020. It makes Nigeria one of the most unequal countries in the world. There was also a report released in 2020 by the Economic Forum. I think most of you know it. It's the gender gap analysis that comes out every year. Nigeria is ranked 128 out of 153 countries. You could argue that that makes Nigeria the best amongst the worst, but we should be the best among the best. That's what we need to strive to be. So we have a long way to go in Nigeria, but also in the world. And at the current pace towards equality, it's going to take us more than 100 years to get to equality. So we need more projects like this so that we can accelerate the process. Now, providing, I'm sorry, I am a little bit passionate, so I might go a little bit more than 2 minutes, but not more than 5. I hope that's okay. I just want to put a little things into perspective, if that's okay with you. Because providing women and girls with equal access to education and to health care, family planning, decent work, and representation in political and economic decision-making processes is actually needed to fuel a sustainable and equitable economic growth. It benefits, and we know this, societies and humanity at large. And I think we need to use our voices better to emphasize that. It's not equality for the sake of equality. It's equality for the sake of humanity. And we know equality leads to a different world. Girls, especially when they're adolescents, are at an increased risk of all forms of gender-based violence. That is about sexual and intimate partner violence. It's trafficking. Trafficking is a huge problem in Nigeria. It's online harassment and bullying. We know that also, that's a global challenge. It's child and early and forced marriage, and it's harmful practices such as female genital mutilation. And in Nigeria, adolescent girls are at increased risk of an early and unwanted pregnancy, which leads them to not finishing their education. And a girl in Nigeria very often does not have the right to decide over her own body. She does not have bodily autonomy. A survey done by UNFPA last year showed that 89%, that is 89 women out of 100, do not feel they are empowered to make their own decisions about whether they can go and see a doctor. And we're not talking family planning here. We're talking about, I have a headache. I wonder if I should go and see a doctor. It's for basic healthcare needs. Any individual has a right to seek healthcare, and that is a very high number. We have all our human rights conventions. We have the Convention of the Rights of the Child. We have the Convention of Elimination of all forms of discrimination against women. We have the Social and Economic and Cultural Rights Conventions. We have the Beijing Declaration. We have the Cairo Platform. We need to start assigning accountability and have conversations with the decision makers about the commitments they have made, voluntary. And how do we then use an initiative like this, where we have 36 young empowered women coming out, to start those conversations in a positive way, so the change we bring is positive. So girls' distinct needs and vulnerabilities and capacities, they really demand specific attention and recognition in policies. And we need to keep our eyes on that, because that's the accountability framework. That is where we can start to move the needle, especially when we talk about ending violence against women and girls and getting to equality. So investing in a girl's education and health and creating that enabling environment so that girls are empowered and feel empowered, because that's two different things. You have to own that empowerment. It has to come from within you. And we are born with that. And that has to be part of the way we see ourselves. That's about our agency. That's when women start making their own decisions about their lives. That is when a woman starts deciding, do I want to have children? When do I want to have children? Who do I want to marry? These are choices that we own. So I'm really glad that this project also is in tandem with the core values of UNFPA and with our 3 transformative goals. Because adolescents and women are at the center. They're very important in UNFPA, as is youth. So our mandate area cuts across everything that is happening in this project, and that's about ending preventable maternal deaths. We should not have maternal deaths, which stands at 512 in Nigeria, but in some states it's almost 2,000. I don't know if you ever think about what that means, but that actually means that we have close to 20 women dying every day. Or something we could prevent them. We could prevent that death. It also means that we need to end unmet need for family planning. 25% of maternal death is likely to be prevented if women have access to family planning. That's a lot of life saves. And then, of course, ending gender-based violence and harmful practices. That is where the real inequality comes through. That's the physical image of the inequality, is the lack of access to justice for survivors of gender-based violence. So we are committed in UNFPA to support projects like this and to walk with you. And we will remain committed in doing that, because we do champion bodily autonomy. It's a cornerstone for achieving gender equality and universal access to sexual and reproductive rights. So let me end, maybe just with a few words about this concept, because at UNFPA we commend this concept because of the foresight it demonstrates. It demonstrates the creativity and determination in addressing gender inequality. And it's led by youth, and it's led by Nigerians. That's where it starts, because the ownership is solidly placed in the country with Nigerians and with young women. So I would strongly recommend the scale up and sustainability of this project through collaboration and partnerships and multi-stakeholder engagement. And I urge all of you amazing young women who we are celebrating today to use everything you have learned to take these skills and make Nigeria more gender equitable. Use your voices, because when you do that, you contribute to a Nigeria that is more gender equal, to a Nigeria where all childbirth are safe, to a Nigeria where every pregnancy is wanted, and a Nigeria where every young person's potential is realized. And that is a Nigeria where no one is left behind. So use your voices. I can't wait to hear them. Thank you for bearing with me. I went a little bit over time, but congratulations. And I hope to see you out there.
All right, thank you very much, Ma, for the wonderful goodwill message. We specifically want to thank you for your passion and the ability to attend in person, despite that you're on transit. We truly appreciate that. And just one thing you must take home from a goodwill message is the fact that equality for the sake of humanity. If you were going to forget anything, just remember that and just try to make sure that as many women and girls you come across, you do that for the sake of humanity. Once again, thank you so much, Ma, for joining us. We truly appreciate that. Right now, I would like to welcome the Director of GAGE Division of Federal Ministry of Health, Dr. John Ovoraye, is already here. Please, can we welcome him on the chat box? Just welcome him with a clap, with your favorite emoji as he takes the next goodwill message. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Can you? Okay, very good. So I'm actually at the phase 1 of the Federal Secretariat, and we're also in another workshop, which is also gender sensitive kind of workshop in the SGF, Secretary of the Government of the Federation's conference room. So, and I'm very glad to associate, because everything we are doing have to do on how we can strengthen the girl child, the woman, and to make sure the gender equality. And we are also in the workshop here to do that. So SWAG have always been very passionate in working closely with the Federal Ministry of Health to make sure anything that have to do with adolescents, they are there. I could remember vividly the huge support the Federal Ministry of Health enjoyed from SWAG, especially in the just concluded International Adolescent Health Week, which will mark 20 to 20. So SWAG have always been associating with the Federal Ministry, and the Federal Ministry are happy to identify with SWAG in anything that they are doing. So, and one thing is that we just want to assure you that whatever project that you are bringing up, as long as you carry government along, government is willing to partner with you. This can be dovetailed into the country and such particular meeting. And we're solidly from the Federal Ministry of Health, greeting from the Honorable Minister, greeting from the Director of Family Health, and greeting from my humble self for this great achievement. Thank you all, and all the best. Over.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for the good message. We are truly grateful that you see this as an opportunity to partner with Stand With a Girl initiative and Strong Enough Girls Empowerment Initiative. We truly appreciate that. And moving on, I would like to welcome one of the program officers for the Girl Advocates for Gender Equality Project, as she takes us through the project's overview. Dun, 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 dun. Let's make welcome Halima to Sadia.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope we're having a good day so far. Thank you once again for joining us for this meeting. Once again, we're so excited to be at this closeout, and I will just walk you through what we have been able to achieve in the last 1 year of this project. And we're just as stunned to see how much has been done by the incredible girl advocates for gender equality. I'll just walk you through the project. Of course, the project is called the Girl Advocates for Gender Equality. So it is equipping adolescent girls in Nigeria to be champions for gender equality through female mentorship. Now, these girls were, like it has been stated before, selected from, there are 36 girls, and these girls represent the social, the economic, and the cultural diversity of Nigeria. We had several groups of girls that are represented, girls who belong to the differently abled community, girls living with HIV, and several other marginalized groups. These girls, their capacity was built, and they were given knowledge and skills to be advocates in their community. So we'll just talk about the goal of the project, which is simply to provide these adolescent girls with the information, skills, and resources to advocate for gender equality. We've had everyone talk about the great things these girls have done, and the goal of the project for us was to ensure that they did not, as much as most of these girls already had a passion for gender equality, we provided them with the skills, with the information, with the resources, so they can be more, they could be smart about it. The objectives of the project is we have 5 objectives, and one of them is to promote a supportive environment for just the meaningful participation of adolescent girls in gender equality issues. And that is what this project is about. It's giving them a voice, giving them a place where a safe space where they could learn, they could express themselves, and they could in turn create change in their community. Another objective is to train 36 girls to basically be champions, like the goal says, and then to empower them to be change agents in their schools and their community. Another objective of the project is to increase political commitment through policy actions, policy implementation, and just policy reform, and then sustainable funding, because we know how necessary it is for us to have sustainability. We do not want a situation where we have a 1-year project and that would be the end of it. We are hopeful, and we're working to ensure that there is sustainability, that these girls can create so much more impact than they have in the last 1 year. Another objective of the project is to increase media reportage on gender equality. And we did this by getting old and new media coming together, because we know that Nigeria is a very diverse country. We have people who have access to mobile phones and people who do not. And the goal is to reach as much people as possible to give them this information and this awareness on gender equality. And so we trained media personnel on gender equality reportage to ensure that the messages that go out there are gender sensitive. Another objective is to increase gender equality buy-in amongst relevant stakeholders. And these stakeholders are inclusive of parents, teachers, religious and cultural leaders. We know that these are the gatekeepers that affect the lives of girls in these communities. And we knew that there is a necessity to bring them to the table, that they will be part of ensuring that these girls have the access and the autonomy that they deserve. The project had 5 thematic areas, which is on the screen, but we have gender-based violence and sexual and reproductive health, financial literacy. We cannot talk about that enough. We know how necessary it is for women to have access to finances and freedom to make their own choices. And we saw the need for these girls to be educated on the necessity for financial literacy, even from their young age. Another thematic area is on girls' education. As Ms. Ula mentioned, it is very key for girls to have access to education. And until we have advocates who are on the field, who are trying to educate and enlighten their communities as to why it is necessary to have education, we would have a very long and hard situation on our hands. Another thematic area is on innovation and technology. We understand that there is a huge gap in the area of STEM, and data has shown that the amount of women who are in STEM are much lower than it is with men. And we knew that if girls had more information, if they knew that this is something that they could do, then they would actually go for it. And so this is one of the areas that
Apologies, everyone. We will get them back shortly. Thank you for bearing with us today, but they will be back shortly. And I know Sadia was passing on some very key information about this project, but maybe I can fill in for her or Linda. Linda, I see you're on. Are you able to speak so that we don't take too much of everyone's time? Okay, I see Swag is back on. I can hand it back to Sadia. Go ahead. Thank you all.
Once again, we apologize for the brief break that just happened, and the network is a bit shaky, but thank you once again for staying through. I think I will just take off from where I stopped. So I was talking about the key activities that we embarked on in fulfillment of this project. And the first one is the capacity building for girl advocates on advocacy and leadership skills. This happened in Abuja in June last year, where all the 36 girls were brought from the different states that they stay in, and they were taught by mentors and speakers on different topics, but majorly on advocacy and leadership skills. After that session, they were moved to the mentorship session, which lasted for 6 months, where these girls were trained bi-weekly on different topics pertaining to the project and the thematic areas. While that was going on, we had a review of existing policies by consultants. So basically what the organizations did was we contracted a research consultant who identified the ministries in Nigeria that work hand in hand towards the promotion of gender equality or women's rights in general. And then they were able to identify the policies that are currently in place, and then identify the budgets that has been allotted to gender equality matters. And they were more focused on identifying the policies, what has been done so far, how much has been given, how much has been spent. And so we have a research on that, which would be linked for others to see before the session runs out. After that, we had a capacity building for media organizations on gender sensitive reportage. So we had a communications and social development expert come to talk to media organizations on the necessity for gender sensitive reportage. We know that one of the issues that we have in our country as it relates to media is that we know that media forms the way we think. We know that media influences the way we perceive the world. And most times when media portrays issues that pertain to women, there was already a certain there's already a way they portrayed gender equality issues from more of a defensive or attacking perspective. And then this media experts came together with the media personnel to really walk through the different ways that the bias that we may have is affecting the way that we portray women's rights and women's issues, and just educate them on the necessity for gender sensitive reportage. And the next activity was a high/state level advocacy. The project initially hoped to have advocacy to high-level stakeholders in the Minister of Health, the Minister of Education, the Minister of Sports, and we were unable initially to have this advocacy, but we're able to leverage on the Society for Adolescents and Youth and Young Persons Health in Nigeria's conference, where some of the girl advocates were able to advocate for rights of women and their access to education and general well-being. After that, we had media engagements. Now, the girl advocates themselves were able to go to media outlets in their community that had a range or an audience where they spoke about what they were doing in their communities, as well as the necessity for gender equality. So these media outlets gave them a platform to discuss gender equality issues and how it is necessary for the empowerment of the girl child. These girls were able to highlight the different things back to their communities and just educate people why it is necessary to actually support gender equality, because when a girl child is empowered, the whole community benefits. After that, the girls were able to cascade these trainings to other girls in their communities. Now, the goal of the project is that we want them to learn about gender equality, how to advocate for gender equality, but we don't just want them to stop there. We want them to also create that system in their communities where they can get other girls in their communities to learn how to advocate and basically teach them the value and the significance of their voice. And so these girl advocates were able to identify girls in their community and educate them on the things that they had learned from the start of the project to the point where they were at. And we're able to, the 36 girls were able to reach about 300 girls in general. And the girls were able to identify certain issues and problems in their community, and with the goal to give back to the community. So these girls were able to identify certain things that were out of place or needed help. Like for some of the girls, they noticed that there was an absence of proper waste management. And so they were able to give back to their communities by providing them with different waste bins to have, to encourage recycling. For some of the girls, due to the high rates of accidents, they were able to contribute to give them roadblocks and create roadblocks in their community and all of that. So basically they were able to find a problem in their community and give back with the support of the organization. After that, we had the girl-led intergenerational dialogue. Now, this was meant to get male family heads and just male members of the community, as well as religious and cultural leaders, to actually have a conversation, to ask the questions of what are the hindrances to gender equality, and just have a conversation with these girls. These girls were able to advocate to them on the necessity for, girl child well-being, gender equality, and everything that matters to the proper enhancement of the girl child. And with that, I would hand over to my colleague, Linda, and she'll walk us through the results and all of that. Thank you so much.
Give it up for Linda.
Thank you, Linda, once again. So regarding our results for the GAGE project, it's been mind-blowing, and just going through it, my notes now is actually really exciting for me, and you will understand why shortly. So yes, 36 girl advocates capacity was built on advocacy and leadership skills. This means they now have agency to speak for themselves and speak for other girls. It's one thing as adults to speak for girls. It's another thing to train or build girls' capacity to speak for themselves. You know how it's said, nothing about us without us. So girls are in the forefront of this, 36 girls from the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. And I think that's a huge accomplishment, really. And then next, 12 media organizations, including 2 social media bloggers, were trained on gender-sensitive reportage. They were also selected around Nigeria. We have Inspiration FM from Lagos, Freedom FM Kano, Gotel TV Adamawa, Kiss FM in Abuja, Kiss FM Kaduna, MITV Lagos State, Radio Benue in Benue State, Cool FM from Kano State, Radio Nigeria Rivers, Judith Caleb, media blogger, and Dazzle Ward, she's also a blogger. And of course, last but not least, we had Hit FM Rivers. So they had 2 trainings where they were trained on. And we had a lot of experience sharing during the training and giving them examples of how to make sure gender equality is reflected when they are reporting issues regarding gender on the media, either on sexual and gender-based violence and all that. This particular training is effective to the extent that we had the media houses share links of the news they casted, of course, or broadcasted after the training, where they reflected the trainings they underwent, and that's another highlight of that particular training. Then, of course, we have our 6 months mentorship sessions for girl advocates. The capacity building was not enough. We had to do a 6 months mentorship session where the girls had a one-on-one, a close session with their mentors on the following topics. We had life skills, which included communication, self-esteem, negotiation skills, then girls in leadership, girls in STEM, financial literacy, of course, how to advocate for girls' education. We also covered self-esteem and emotional intelligence. We covered storytelling for advocacy, gender-based violence towards the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls in 2021, of course. Then, of course, we had vocational skills and entrepreneurship. The girls also were privileged to listen to mentors talk about the role of mentorship in development, and gender policies and the existing sectoral budgets working with the government. Listening to their mentors, having this conversation with them and asking their questions also build that capacity for them to actually have a network of young 36 girls who could ask questions bothering them. We believe they are now ambassadors in their own communities and in their schools, where other girls can ask them questions and they are able to provide response also. And we've watched them grow in the course of the last 1 year. Then 12 mentors were assigned to the group of girls advocate. Remember, Sadia earlier said we have 5 thematic areas. So the girls all had the areas they were interested in. So we divided them in the areas and assigned a mentor to them where they got to ask direct questions on the area that were affected. Now the girls selected their teams based on the need of their society. If a girl feels, oh, in my community, the issue is lack of access to sexual and reproductive health information, she'll go for that particular team. If a girl feels, oh, the girls in my community need access to financial, of course, the thematic area. Girl-centered interviews with 5 media organizations, thereby girls went on air and were able to have conversations. They led the conversations themselves and they delivered. And it was really interesting to see the results of everything they've been taught in the last 1 year. Then, of course, we had advocacy training to over 300 girls. Now, after the capacity building and of course the mentorship, we had the girls step down training to their own peers in their community. And this was beautiful to behold. Of course, we can't see all this without appreciating the guidance, the parents and the guidance who supported the girls and in mobilization and standing by and watching the girls, of course, take the front stage to deliver their message to their fellow girls. And that automatically put them in the leadership position because their friends and their peers got to ask questions which they provided response to as a result of their training in this project. Then advocacy training to over 300 girls, of course, then review of gender policies from the Ministry of Health, Education, Budget, and Planning. This review was done and it was shared with the girls regarding the challenges surrounding the budget, and of course the implementation of certain projects. And the girls asked a lot of questions about this. They brought them close to policy making and the rules regarding policy and how it affects them. Now the girls are much more aware of what's happening around them, not just to speak about gender equality issues, but to understand the issues of gender and policies from the Ministry of Health, Education, Budget, and Planning. Next slide. So, regarding challenges, the first one, we'll say some of the selected girl advocates parents that at the beginning of the project now did not give their consent on time, and this led to the postponement of the capacity building training not done at the stipulated time in our project, but eventually it held and it was a huge success. We expected 36 girls and 36 guidance, and they all came all over Nigeria. They came from the 6 geopolitical zone, and that was a huge success for us. They came to Abuja for the capacity building. Then, of course, Nigeria at the time of project inception, last year, 2021, experienced civil unrest, including criminal activities, such as kidnap for ransom and banditry. The project team stayed abreast with updated security information ahead of the orientation and capacity building workshop, which was postponed and held on a later date. And number 3, due to varying school calendar, some of the girl advocates could not join in all the mentorship sessions, thereby limiting attendance. Some of the girls later went on to boarding schools and had no access to their phones. Next, late reports from the girl advocates guidance, which limited the team to track training at a community level. After the girls stepped down training to their mates and their peers in the community level, some of the parents were experienced delay in sending us the reports, and some actually didn't really know how to go about using the media or sending information online, but we had to call them and we were able to solve that. Then some ministries were unwilling to share data on gender policies. This made it quite impossible to know what gaps exist, especially as regards budgets. Then finally, high advert rate for some media organizations, which led to delay in radio interview for the girl advocates. Next slide. Lessons learned. Despite it being a huge success, I would say we've learned this following: to ensure to work with relevant ministries from the project inception. That way, later on, when we need certain information from them, it will be easier to get. Then secondly, to ensure sustainability and effectiveness of mentorship sessions, there's need to provide better funding for the mentors who were resident for 6 months with the girls. Much as they came through, we hope with better funding, we can do more for our mentors. Then include schools as part of project stakeholders so that their projects can be sustainable, especially schools. When the girls that go to boarding schools, we'll find a way for future, of course, reference to get the new schools involved so that they can understand that they are stakeholders and they can also support the girls to ensure project sustainability. Then include parents and guidance as mobilizers for girls' community engagements. Now, originally, this was not in our project, but along the line, we adjusted and we decided to make the parents and guidance the mobilizers for the girls' community engagement. And of course, we saw the difference because when parents and guidance are involved as adults now, it helps the community, of course, leaders to listen more to what the girls have to say. This was not written in the proposal, but we adopted this as the project progressed. Then finally, adequate funding to media organizations to aid gender reportage. This is another aspect that we believe that, okay, we'll do better going forward. Adequate funding to ensure that the media organizations do aid gender reportage to favor women than it currently is. Next slide. Yes, sustainability. So yes, this part is very important for all projects, and I'll be listing the plans we have on ground now for this. Creation of GAGE Girls Club in communities through existing relationship with community stakeholders and mobilizers. So we are not leaving the girls to their own now that we are done with the project. We'll continue with them, encourage them to create the girl clubs in their communities. Then secondly, integrate gender equality issues into existing clubs in school. This is a huge gap that we intend to fill because we have health clubs, we have HIV clubs at school, drama clubs. Now, a situation where we get to introduce gender equality issues to these clubs is going to actually equip the girls and build their capacity to understand the issues of gender equality from that young age in secondary school. And then sustaining the girls' mentorship group after the end of projects through sharing of relevant opportunities for growth. So we're not going to be abandoning the girls. The mentorship groups exist and we'll be sharing opportunities because even in the course of this project, we've shared opportunities with them, which a lot of the girls took advantage of and they went on to do great things and sent and providing technical support as time on. And then providing technical support for girl advocate community engagement projects after the end of the project. Yes, project is ending officially, but will always be available for the girls if they need any kind of support, especially technical support, so that they can continue with their community engagements and in their projects, because these girls are not slowing down and we are grateful for that and we'll do all we can to support them for the betterment of the girl child in Nigeria. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Sadia and Linda. That was awesome. I'm sure you've all listened and seen all the amazing things we've been able to do in the course of 1 year, and we're grateful to God, and we're grateful that these girls particularly avail themselves to be part of this, because there's one thing to provide and then another thing for the girls to be willing to do this. We truly appreciate them. So we'll be moving on right now to hear from these girls and their guardians and representative from the mentors and also the media organizations. You know, we've all been talking about it, but it is very important that we hear from them and see what has happened to them in the course of 1 year, what they would even do going forward. Thank you.
Entire book about my experience, but Hello, my name is Rukaya Idris and I am a girls advocate for gender equality. And to the question, what have I learned from the GAGE project? If I should begin, I believe I can write an entire book about my experience. But I think the takeaway for me in what I've learned is I have been able to gain a newfound perspective of what it means to be a woman in this generation, how to better advocate for women, and to know that my powers and my abilities are not limited to my gender and I can do whatsoever I want. The project has given me the opportunity to meet so many accomplished women that I am overwhelmed just by the thought of them. My experience from the GAGE project has given me the knowledge on how to better advocate for women in my community. Formerly, when I'm spoken to about gender-based violence, gender equality, I usually speak of it from a position of anger, a position of hurt at how my gender has been marginalized, has been put in a box and being made to do things that their hearts don't desire. But through the GAGE project, I have realized that there is a smarter way of approaching and achieving gender equality in the society, and I will use all that I have learned and I will spread all that I have learned into the society. Thank you so much to everyone that was part of GAGE project. You have really made a substantial impact in my life.
Good day, I'm Okoli Injerisi, my girl child advocate for gender equality. The GAGE project has exposed me in certain areas such as going into a family. I discovered that I have now been able to identify a particular problem being faced by an individual, specifically the female gender. Now, going into a family and citing the mother of the family, I'll be able to tell whether she's been loved in the family or the type of abuse she undergoes in the family, if any. Now, it's not only when they are being beaten black and blue and given several bruises around your body that you tell, oh yes, you are being violated. There are different types of abuses and violation, namely domestic violence, which is known by everyone, emotional abuse, social abuse, financial abuse, and rights abuse. That is violation of your rights as a female gender. Now, the problems this mother undergoes definitely tell on the daughters of the family. Like, I've been able to identify the type of abuse going on in my family. Now, these daughters will thereby go to their school and have low self-esteem and build into their shell, linking it to a girl I met at a project I carried out with Girl Rights Initiative at Wesley Girls Junior Secondary School, Yaba. This girl had been termed by everyone as a mentally disabled girl by her school. But looking into it, I was able to discover that she's coming from an emotionally abused family. If not, her mother and father would have been able to identify that, oh, the daughter has a problem. Now, secondly, linking it to STEM-related courses, I'm able to encourage a certain number of girls to engage in STEM-related courses and activities. My motivation for this was linked to a research I carried out where I discovered that in Nigeria, we have only 15 neurosurgeons. And out of that 15 neurosurgeons, 2% are female neurosurgeons. In physics, 8% of females are in physics. There's 2% of females are in computer science, and other science-related courses ranges from 10% to 15%, which isn't right. And that is what motivated me to encourage girls from primary to junior secondary to senior secondary, even to the university level, to engage in science-related courses, STEM-related courses. And if they are not opportune to do that, they can engage in STEM-related skills in order to boost up their morale in the male world we found ourselves. But we thank God that, and we know that one day we'll get there. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I'm Yusuf Sirura Balanle, a guidance to Adewale Mistura, an advocate for gender equality. Gender equality means the equal rights that are being shared between our children, that is, the boys and the girls. For gender equality to be effective, we as a parent or guardian, we need to support the advocacy agency for gender equality. Now, gender equality has come to eradicate the traditional sayings that says female educations end up in the kitchen. Also, we need to support our girls because they are brave, they are intelligent. We need to help them to realize their dreams, to achieve their talents. Now, there are some families that render women useless just because they did not give birth to a male child. So also, there are some families also whereby when they have a woman that has not bear children, they believe that the problems are all coming from the woman, not knowing that even a male child can also have a problem of infertility. Now, gender equality has now come to tell the world that girl child also, they are strong. They can do as well as the boys are doing. So, I'm calling up on parents and guardians. Let us come together as a whole to help our girls to realize their dreams. Thank you.
Encouraging parents to educate their girl child, to involve their girl child in leadership in their community, to give them responsibility just as they will give their male child responsibility, to treat the girls as they will treat the boys, to see them with equal strength, responsibility, with passion and ability as equal as they will see it in the male, and to also allow the girl child to participate as they will allow the boys to participate in the community and even at home as their children.
My name is Bosedi Joderinde. I am one of the mentors in the mentoring program for girl advocates for gender equality. And I will say that the program is really I'm so proud and so happy and glad to be part of the program. It's a laudable one, seeing the girls evolve into becoming advocates for gender equality. They were able to build their skills, personal skills, life skills, and the mentoring program built their self-confidence. That is, a lot of them went back into their communities and they were able to address issues that are relating to girls. And then when they had cases of different forms of gender inequality, they were able to speak out on their own. So for me, it's been wonderful. It's been a good experience. And then to the mentees, they came up with better attitude, increased self-esteem, increased self-confidence, and better communication skills to be able to address issues relating to them, and interactions with their guidance and the chaperones. We were able to see that some of them even came up with improved behaviors, and one way or the other, it also affected them positively in their academics, because they were now seeing themselves as ambassadors, as change agents, as advocates. So they improved on themselves. And then it also improved their interpersonal skills in relating with their classmates in schools and in their community. And then they also took them through decision making, goal setting, and they were able to set goals and achieve that even in the course of carrying out of the project. Some of them identified challenges in their communities and they were able to address it. And then as a mentor, for me, it was a good time to interact with those girls, to answer their questions, and then build a wonderful relationship with them. So I'm grateful that I've been part of the team, and I'm happy to be part of this formidable team. And I'm grateful that we have impacted in these girls, and it's just the beginning. They will go in to be better than what we even think of them, and they will make better impact in their communities. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you, SEGEI and SWAG Initiative. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Judith Caleb, and I'm here to talk about how GAGE project has helped equip me to use media for gender equality reportage. I've attended the training and I've learned so much about the importance of gender equality in my reporting, in my content, and the importance of being sensitive to some of these things that have been overlooked. Gender-related content has been portrayed in a stereotypical way, especially in our commercials and advertisement. So I have learned the importance of knowing this and being conscious about it in my reporting, in my messaging, in my news. Women are more likely than men to be portrayed as victims in our reporting and our messaging. It is important that we change that narrative. It is important that we change that narrative, and I've learned that from all the training I've done with the GAGE project. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to learn and share. I have grown as a reporter and a social media person. Training. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hello, my name is Nancy Odemegu. I'm a media and communication specialist, and I'm also a reporter with Cool Wazobia and Ariwa Radio Kano. I was opportunity to be a part of GAGE project media training on gender equality reportage, and we started the project about a year ago. I'm just concluded it now. I know for a fact that before now, there are some not so balanced gender nouns that we use while reporting, particularly reporters. And these issues, these nouns, they scream inequality in so many ways. Now, the GAGE project media training did not only highlight these issues, but they also corrected them and identified new approaches at which we could use in telling our stories and reporting without missing what we are trying to communicate. Now, I have fresh ideas, new perspective on how I can tell gender equality stories, gender stories without missing the point. And I also know how to frame my headline, because headline says a lot on gender issues. So I want to thank GAGE for the opportunity, and I look forward to more opportunities like this in future. Thank you.
Isn't that amazing? Yes, it is. Actually, I can say that. And I'm sure you want to hear more, right? So yes, I will give you a link to hear more later before the end of this meeting. Thank you so much for this opportunity to work with you. You know, some of them said they were thanking us for the opportunity, but I would rather say the big thanks should go to them because they availed themselves. If we had all the trainings in the whole wide world and there was nobody to receive this training, it would have just been there on paper. So thank you so much for your support, particularly our girl advocates. You've been amazing, and every other person who were instrumental to the success of this project. I would right now move on to the recognition of our wonderful mentors and the media organizations. And to do that is the executive directors of both SWAG Initiative and Strong Enough Girls Empowerment Initiative. You're welcome, Mars. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Mercy. Can we give a round of applause to our moderator, Mercy, who has been doing a fabulous job thus far? Please send in your emojis and your hearts. But yes, oh my goodness, as in, I'm like, can we restart this project again? But yeah, we don't have to restart it. We just keep it going because I don't know if you all can feel just the impact. Honestly, these girl advocates are just out of this world. And my goal or my desire in life is just to be able to help these girls to always believe in themselves, to know the power that they carry within them. But yes, anyway, let me not deviate from the task at hand, but it's been such an amazing project, and as you all can see, there's so much to say about it. Now I have the distinct honor of just acknowledging our mentors. So for this project, as you've heard, we had a 6-month mentorship program because we wanted to be intentional about helping these girl advocates understand what is gender equality. Many times, many of us want to get on various bandwagons, but we don't really understand why does this matter. So we needed mentors, women who have experience in the issues that are impacting gender, issues that are impacting girls, issues that we need to help unpack. So we had these mentors help us over the course of 6 months unpack these topics. So as Linda mentioned earlier, we worked on girls' education. Like we had a mentor that discussed girls' education. And actually we had 2 mentors, and these were Irene. Our one mentor focused on education, the other mentor focused on girls in leadership. So Irene Uba talked to the girls about how to advocate for girls' education. Many of you might know Nigeria has the highest rates of girls who are out of school, and that number still stands even from when I did research like 4 years ago. So how do we ensure that we get more girls in school? Every child should be in school, boy or girl, but the discrepancy is a lot when it comes to girls. So Irene was able to talk to the girls about how they can advocate for girls to be in school and stay in school. And then we had Oyeyemi Piton, who talked about girls in leadership. And I actually saw from the assessment, because we did a pre and post survey, that it seems like the girls actually enjoyed the sessions on female leadership, which shows that these girls want to take up leadership positions. So that was thoughts by Oyeyemi Piton. We also had Lovette Imo. I think we have their pictures. I'm not sure if we can share the slide with their pictures, because I always love to put faces to the names so that you all can connect with the mentors. So Lovette Imo, who working to advance African women in STEM, the organization. She is the Chief Operating Officer for WOW Foundation. She took our girls through Girls in STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. And then we also had Ketura Adams, who talked to our girls on financial literacy, and she is a financial and international education expert. Did I say that correctly? Well, but yeah, she's a financial literacy expert as well. And then we have Aisha Waziri, who I noticed online as well. I think we have a few of our mentors online with us, so please feel free to say hello in the chat box. So Aisha Waziri also discussed girls in leadership. Okay, I knew we had a topic that 2 mentors covered. So that was girls in leadership, Aisha and Oyeyemi. So thank you both so much. Leadership came up as one of the favorite subjects for the girls to learn. And then of course we had Boss Bus, the #1 and the only Boss ever. As in Boss is so dear. I mean, she's a fantastic woman and teacher. She's somebody I've known for several years. She took our girls through life skills, which includes communication, self-esteem, and negotiation skills. Boss tells you that she's a teenager. I don't even remember how old she told the girl she was, but the girls really connected with her. She has been teaching family life and HIV education in Nigeria for so long, and she is one of our champions. Really, really beautiful and amazing woman. So I'm glad that she was able to give her time to mentor our girls. I don't think I've missed anyone. We also had some guest mentors in the persons of Kemi Badamosi. She talked to the girls about self-esteem and emotional intelligence. Oh my goodness, women, it's really important for us to learn emotional intelligence as women, but even men also. But our girls got to understand what does it mean to be an emotionally intelligent person. And then we also had Tawa Khalid Kareem, who talked about gender-based violence. And she talked about this in light of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls. And then we also had Chika Roots Nwajoku, who took the girls through vocational skills and entrepreneurship. Because at the end of the day, it's one thing to talk to girls about being empowered, being confident, but how do you generate an income for yourself? So how do you use the skills that you have to create a future for yourself? So vocational skills and entrepreneurship really matter. So we just want to say so much thanks. I have to pass it on to Margaret, but on behalf of SEGEI and SWAG, we want to say thank you to our 6 mentors and our guest mentors who spent 6 months of their time participating in WhatsApp mentorship sessions. And truly the impact you've made in these girls is forever. So thank you all so much. And now I'll hand it over to Margaret to talk about some of our media organizations that we partnered with. Margaret, you're still muted.
Oh, thank you so much, Oyinye. So I'll just say yes, Oyinye is beginning to I can imagine trying to compress what you've done in 1 year, just in 1 hour, 30 minutes, but we'll try to be very quick. So for us, it's really to say very big thank you to the media organization. You all will agree with me, the big, huge and big role that the media really take in the society, and how that most of our the information we run with, most of our mental models, and even things we've now normalized are probably, aside from our culture and all of that, it's also what we picked from the media. So for us, it was really, we're really happy to recognize those media outlets for improving media content and increasing coverage that is gender sensitive and gender transformative, that breaks gender stereotypes and promotes advocacy and accountability for gender equality in Nigeria. And it's on that note that we want to say a very big thank you to Inspiration FM in Lagos, Freedom FM in Kano, Gotel TV in Adamawa, Kiss FM in Abuja here, Queens FM in Kaduna, MITV in Lagos, Radio Benue in Benue State, Cool FM in Kano, Radio Nigeria Rivers, Judith Caleb Media. So this is one of us who is a blogger, as well as Dazzle Pod, also with finally Kiss FM, just to say thank you so much for running with it. And we know that it hasn't ended. There's one big sustainability plan, is the fact that we trust that you continue to include gender activity in all of your reportage as you move on. So this is from Strong Enough Girls Empowerment Initiative and Stand With a Girl Initiative to say thank you so much for partnering with us to ensure that the airwaves dish out content that are gender transformative and also sensitive. Thank you so very much. And on this note, I pass it on to our moderator. But before then, it's also important that we call out the real G's, the reason why we're here. You can shout and you can drop an emoji or something, and these are wonderful girls, we want to particularly, intentionally call their names. And to do this, you've been seeing ladies everywhere. We are calling the strong men in the building.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Over to you, Michael.
Let me just sit here. My name is Mike Enedu, and it is a privilege to call the name of the most important people, the reason why we are here. Yes, I have something important. Okay, so to start with, I'll be starting with Comfort Michael, Umar Fatima Aramide, Favor Wubudu, Amina Abubakar, Shalom Boluatife Adebayo, Rukeya Idris, Joyce Abi, Hawa Shwaibu, Salma Abdullahi, Ogbona Deborah, Adewale Mistura, Aisha Sani Abakura, Isabel Anani, Chiamaka Joy Martins, Deborah Ehirusel Abia, Favor Unform, Edem, Iyoha Jennifer, Coco Doom Deborah, Precious James, Chad Anna, Okoli Angel Isioma, Enen Naomi Ope, Bakan Sarah, Mercy Ehi Patrick, Okunola Comfort, Peculiar Grace Ayorinde, Alaba Harry, Arit Basieyo, Osina Kachichima, Esther Otu, Adeni Precious Adiola, Rita Danladi, Une Rita Emmanuel, Zipporah Osadinizu, Janet Odusanya, and Tangwat Amos Zamani. I think it's a good time to clap. So that'll be your thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure working with these girls. For the past 1 year, the girls have been of the night when they try to reach us. We are so glad by the enthusiasm that they show, and it's been a real pleasure working with these girls. And the amazing is, just like she said earlier, this is not the end. This is just the start of what is to be done. And regarding gender inequality in Nigeria, I would believe and hope there will really be a beacon of change in this country, and they will really promote the message of equality in every sense in human rights. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, it's official. Can I hear somebody say woo woo? All right, that's it. Thank you. Okay, it's official, like we said, but it's the start of another beginning, or it's the beginning of another level. Anyone, anyhow, you felt it or it sounded, but just know that these girls are going out there to make that change. We really want them to. Thank you very much, everybody, for staying true with us till this time. We know that we are already above our time, but we just want you to, before we go on the chat box, yes, before that, please, if you have not filled the form, the attendance form, please kindly do so. The link is already on the chat box. Please ensure to fill the attendance form. It's very important. Thank you so much if you have not done that. I would like to hear from everyone who has been in this meeting, and specifically, I also want to welcome, I don't know if the representative from Ministry of Education is still here, and I also want to welcome EVA. They are also one of our stakeholders and partners in this project. So I would like to say thank you so much for joining, and every other person. But before we go, I want us to, please, can you put on the chat box what are those areas of support you would like to render? Like we said, that we want to look out for sustainability of this project. So it won't just be an end to, oh, it has officially closed and that's the end of it. And like we told you that these girls are ready, they're on fire, they are actually ready. They're just waiting for you to come up and then give them the opportunity. So please just chat type on the chat box rather, how you would ensure what you will do. What are those supports you would render to us? And if it's okay, if it's not coming now, we are still open to you as you know, from Stand With a Girl Initiative and Strong Enough Girls Empowerment Initiative, we are still open to hear from you how you want to do it. And I think I would just like to also appreciate the youth advocate from Lagos State, who has added these girls to the existing technical working groups, and also the youth group in Lagos State. Those are areas that we want these girls to be in, so that they're already there. They're like your ambassadors in the community. So you don't have to look too far. Just reach out to us. You get these girls working. And of course, we see that there's going to be a better Nigeria. So once again, thank you so much, everyone. But lastly, before we officially close the closing up ceremony, yes, I would like to drop the information about the findings we got from the, you know, while we were reviewing the existing policy that we have for gender equality, even across all the ministries, from where we got it, even though we told you that we did that at one point in this project. We would like to share that with you, but then we would be sharing the link to our website where you can read up on it and just see and just check through how all that went through and what is in it. We envision a world that is transparent, so we are as open as that, and we want you to see that this happens. But most importantly, don't forget that gender equality is also looking at humanity. So it's not about the girls alone, but it's about humanity. It's about making the world a better place. With this, we come to the end of our closing out ceremony, but I would like to appreciate one more person. Can we give it up for our sign language interpreter? She's been doing an amazing job. Yes, thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you for coming for us, you know. We appreciate that. And yes, before we go, we'd like to see your beautiful faces. Yes, very, very important. Of course, the girl advocates, very important. It's your day to day, so let's see your beautiful faces, even as we take photographs before we officially close this meeting. Okay, everybody turn on your video. The first person I can see here is Isabel. Yes, next. Okay. Yes, Ruka, yeah, I can see you. Yes, where's the next girl? I can't see everybody. Are we all ready? Okay. Oh, nice. That's so good to see your faces.
We're taking pictures. Okay, ready?
So we're taking your pictures now, so you can make the smile broader and wider. Okay. Okay. Keep smiling, you know, just keep smiling. We would soon close this meeting, but you know, we just want to see your faces. And oh yeah, please, are you able to take the pictures from your end?
All right, I'm taking a couple, so just, yeah, like, as Mercy said, keep smiling.
Okay.
We want to make sure we capture you in the right angle. Okay, I'm actually going to do a countdown. I will do 3, 2, 1. So give us your best smile at the end of 1. All right. In 3, 2, 1.
She can't pass.
All right. One more time. One more time. One more time. In 3, 2, 1. All right, now we have to say gender equality. In 3, 2, 1.
Gender
equality.
Gender equality.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, and would like to appreciate you, and it's a wrap. Thank you. Bye.
Wait, I thought we wanted to hear from some partners. Are we not? Or the care, our guardians?
Yes, so please, if you would like to speak, you can just unmute and speak, please. You can also drop it on the chat box if there are areas you would like to, in light of sustainability, if there are areas that you would like to move on. And just to also stress that the link that was shared, it's actually a very useful resource. So for us, it's good to do advocacy, but we ensure that it's research-based and evidence-based. So that document would also help you with multi-sectoral approaches of gender equality in Nigeria. So we're enjoying you to read up this document so that it can also, it might be useful for your advocacy as well. So anyone, maybe any parents online, guardian, partner, that would like to speak.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Indeed, I'm so happy, I'm so excited. I don't know, it's a thing of joy because this program itself has shaped my sister's life. Like, my sister is one of the most, I don't know what to say, if I would say most stubborn person, but she's the last one, but she's the most stubborn, and she like all this boyfriend, this thing, but through this program, she realized that it wasn't easy, but sometimes she will call me, she said, Auntie AJ, this program is really stressing me, but I'm enjoying it. At least those are peer groups, those ones that have already given birth to, she have taught them, don't give up in life. And the last time I visited, they were all doing well. I was so happy. And in my village, in my community, just the talk of the town, that these girls have really shaping a lot of girls' life in the community. Once again, I really want to say thank you and God bless you all for us. And we pray for more of this program to come so that the girls will also benefit from it. I really say thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everyone. I will not forget my Shaga or Shade. I really love you guys. You guys are wonderful.
We love you more, and thank you for all the support that you continue to provide to your sister. Oh, now we see your face. We love and we missed you so much. God bless you too. Thank you. Anyone, either girl, partner, parent, guardians, we'll try and make sure we end at 1:50, hopefully.
Don't worry, people touch.
Okay, anyone, even as we wrap up?
And bring us together again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. We're so grateful. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being part of this closeout. But like we continue to say, we move and we continue to do even more for humanity, for every girl. And the truth is, charity begins at home. I'm sure we picked one thing or the other today, and we're going back to say, I can do better. I can contribute my own quota to ensure that in few years, very soon, everyone can really live an equal world. Thank you so much. Onyinye, you want to say something even as we say bye to everybody?
Please, thank you all. Thank you. I want to ask a question.
Oh, is that Madam Charity from FMOH?
No.
Okay, I sounded like
I think
someone.
that's Joy Chima. I'm not sure if the question is for everybody or you want to follow up with us.
In mind to go and meet our local government chairman based on this equality program. So, but the thing that the thing is ending, like the thing have ended. Are we still free to go and meet him to still talk about this program?
Yes, thank you so much. Did that come from Chima? Yes, we are still very, like I said, it's just the beginning. This is just formally closing out, but the work that these girls do in the community doesn't quit, actually. Recently, the work, I think we can still.
Thank you so much, Joy Chima. I'm really excited to see your excitement, and we're looking forward to continuing our relationship with the guardians and the parents and with our girls. So from this side of life, thank you all. Till we meet again, stay safe and stay well.
Yes. Okay, bye everyone. Bye.
See you guys later.